In this video, I'm going to talk about the Crusades, and I'm going to talk about how there was a total of 9 or 10 Crusades, depending on how you slice it up. I sliced it as 7 because the first 4 are the important, the import-exports, and the other ones, they are not referenced enough, and it goes like this. The first crusade was successful. The Muslim Empire was in disarray, and the Christians, after Pope Urban had declared, um, God wills it, Deus vult, and you had, Bernard, and, you had, the Hermit, and what basically happened was these people were part of the church structure, and they had organized the peasants and the nobles, and they lead the first crusade, and they make a lot of leeway into the Holy Land, and they are somewhat successful, but they don't make enough leeway. For as the second crusade comes and they try to go push further in, the Muslim Empire has started to come together, and basically what happens is the third crusade brings Richard and Saladin. You had the siege of Acre, and where they killed a lot of peasants, and they said the blood ran thick up to the. They said the blood on the streets were so thick that it ran up to people's knees sometimes and their ankles, etc. And of course, this is probably exaggeration. And Saladin had won many skirmishes, but Acre was won by the Christians. So this one basically goes to the Muslims because at the end of it, Saladin had taken Jerusalem, and the Christians still didn't have the main piece. And also, before it's important to notice that this is around 1187, and Saladin had declared himself the Sultan, the Sultan of Egypt. So what did he do before he went to Israel? Just like Jacob, just like a lot of the Jews who went to Egypt and stayed there with Joseph and moved and were buried back in Israel, just like Moses, Aaron, just like all the prophets, okay? And you have to remember that part of the purpose of the Crusades was to fight the Moors in Spain. And what time period are we talking about? We're coming up to the time period of 1492. The Moors had taught the white people how to find America. So, they talk about Amerigo Vespucci or whatever that guy's name is. Fine. And they talk about the early black settlers. A lot of these documentaries you see in a lot of history books. Fine. But what you don't see is what got them there in the first place was the ancient knowledge the Arabs took from Africa, and every time they did anything of note, they took it from Africa until it became a very Arabic place. Okay? So this was about 600 years after the Arab conquest, the Islamic conquest of Egypt, after they pushed out a lot of the black people and they had killed and oppressed and forced a lot of the Coptics to live under their rule. Remember, Christianity predates Islam. And remember, around the 1800s, you have, I told you I was going to, my last video, I believe I was going to talk about Panama Canal. I believe it was 1881. So what did America do? We forced all these peasants to build this canal, and we showed them no respect. Okay? And why was it Hugo Chavez who gave all that money to Haiti and not America? Why is America doing all these corporate gestures? Why other countries are doing humanitarian gestures? So, to me, I'm a crusader for the black people, the black Christians, and the white Christians who stayed true in all races. We aren't racist, and we fight against racism. And so, what I represent, is basically, the truth. And, it's important to notice that, remember, Barbarossa and how he dies. And just like, a lot of these famous kings, they die in weird ways. They drown. They die in their armor. They fall off their horse. Okay, you got to understand that these are crusades over long distance. People are tired and weary, and they're getting thirsty, and the kings are drinking first, and the soldiers are getting jealous. And, there's famous stories about how they split up the water. And so, well, we're already about 5 minutes into it. That's a lot of information to soak up. I believe I showed you on my map a little bit of how they came in through Asia Minor, and I'm going to show you that in a couple videos, and how it is key to note The truth is always there. You understand me? The truth is always there. Always. Always. Always there. Now, you have to understand that when I say God wills it, I'm not talking about the will of the woods. I'm not talking about the corporate interests of Europe. How dare the white man declare God wills it because it's in his corporate interest? I am doing it for the interest of the black man, and I have taken a vow of poverty. And dare I say it, I am bordering the realms of chastity, because they're going to chastise me the whole fucking way, treat me like a fucking broke pilgrim on his way to Holy Land, getting abused by some fucking vandals, getting abused by some barbarians, some fucking Saracen scum. Oh, I'm supposed to talk about the Saracens and how the white Christians fight with the Saracens and how they're on my side. That's what the white man would love for me to say. But newsflash, white man, I don't trust them. I don't trust you. I don't trust half of my people, because the sword has divided. The forbidden forest was their place. The chains was their place. And the prophets shared the same prisons as murderers. It's important to note all of these things, or you have not learned a fucking thing. I was chosen by God, and by God I will deliver the Holy Land into the hands of the righteous. Liberate my people from this secret Islamic dictatorship that has usurped the authority of our noble president, who is trying to stand with God, but the scum are in his ear, the scum are on his front, and the scum are trying to stab him in the back, but I am there with a sword. Bing! Take your dagger away, villain! I have come to restore fair play to the fatherland, to the descendants of Kemet, to Nigeria, the new trading empire, the new Egypt of Africa. God wills it!